Good morning. We will call the August 9th, 2022 Call City Council meeting to order. We'll get some sound. If you please stand and join me in the pledge and the invocation. Father, we come before you today giving thanks. Thank you for the opportunity to serve the city. We ask that you give our council in this office the wisdom to serve the city better and the citizens. I ask you watch over all council members that are not here today. Make sure they're safe and watch over them. We ask all these things in your son's name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Item 3 is roll call. Keisha, you see all council members present with the exception of Councilmember Brooks. Item 4 is invitation for public comment. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of or opposition to any item on first reading, raise your hand at that time and be recognized. First reading, item 1 is proposed budget amendment in the amount of $824,174.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Before we begin, I laid the final copy of this budget amendment on your desk there this morning. If you look at down at the bottom right-hand corner, it's date stamped 8/8 at 1:44 p.m. just to make sure you got the right copy. So, okay. So the purpose or the requirement for this budget amendment is kind of driven by the budget ordinance that you will, as a council, will be considering on second reading this morning. By adopting the certified tax rate, that is projected to generate in total about $824,172 less in property taxes than was approved by the council in our original budget amendment. You may remember we had to sort of estimate the property tax revenue because we didn't have the certified tax rate available to us at that particular time. So because of that shortfall in property taxes, what this, and by the way, that's that $824,172, that's broken out between the general fund, which is $616,951, and then $207,221 in the debt service fund. So it's coming out of two different funds. So what this proposed budget amendment would do to make up for that shortfall in property taxes from the original budget, what this budget amendment would do would transfer $824,172 to the general fund to make up for the general fund property tax shortfall, and that'll leave enough for the general fund to transfer to the debt service fund the $217,221 to make up for that shortfall.
So what we're doing, we're raising the assessments.
We didn't raise the assessment, David.
Is that right?
No, we didn't raise the assessment. The assessor of property raised the assessment. We lowered the tax rate.
Right.
We adopted the certified.
We adopted the certified rate of $1.6114.
That's correct.
Mr. Chairman, to be clear, so the certified rate actually leaves us at a deficit of approximately $825,000, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
If you read the letter that the comptroller sent us, you know, it does give us that certified rate as guidance, but to be clear, the language in that does not make that certified rate a requirement per se. And the comptroller does charge us with setting a rate that is appropriate to running a budget that's not at a deficit.
That's correct. There is a process related to that, but that is correct. So.
Move to approve.
All right, we have a motion.
Second.
And a second. This is an item on first reading, so anyone wishing to speak in favor of or opposition to this item, be recognized at this moment. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any additional discussion from council? Council, please vote.
Motion move 8-1. No, 8-0, I'm sorry.
7-1. All right, item 2 is proposed budget amendment in the amount of $3,028,608.
Okay. This proposed budget amendment would transfer from the general fund balance to the capital outlay fund revenue and expenses in the capital outlay fund, $3,028,608, and this would be for a new street repaving program.
All right, any questions from council? All right, this is an item on first reading, so I'll open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in favor of or opposition to can be recognized at this time. Seeing none, close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion from council? Council, please vote.
Motion moves 7-1.
All right, get the second reading. Item 1 is proposed ordinance to amend the FY '23 budget.
Yes, as the mayor notes, this will be the second reading of a budget ordinance to amend the FY '23 adopted budget that was passed back in June. And the amendment to this would basically to change the tax rate to the certified tax rate. And as we discussed at our meeting last week, the final certified tax rate is 1.6114 per $100 of assessed valuation, so.
All right, any questions from council?
Move to approve.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion move 8-0.
All right. Thank you, Bobby. We got new business. Item 1 is consideration of a lease agreement for Safe Haven baby boxes. Come up and introduce yourselves.
Good morning, Alex Reed.
Jana Compton. Christy Tillman.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. What you have before you is a contract that we've been working on, I guess, for about 6 months for the Safe Haven baby boxes. Back in May of this year, Governor Lee signed this, an amendment to the Safe Haven law that allows for mothers to anonymously give up their newborn babies to a facility prescribed by law. One of y'all want to go into that with you? Chris, you got the notebook?
So the initial Safe Haven law allowed for mothers to surrender their baby to a designated area, a fire department, a police department, a hospital ER. The benefit to Safe Haven baby boxes are that now mothers can do that anonymously. So there may be, the mother may feel nervous about going to someone and handing her baby over. Now she can place the baby in a box. I hate to say just a box, but there'll be a door, there's a bassinet in there, it's temperature controlled. There are alarms that go off that notify 911. There's an internal alarm to the fire department, or I think we're gonna do it at a fire department, but wherever they have the box at. And that allows first responders to immediately respond to the baby. The ambulance would then come and transport the baby to the hospital, but this whole time the mother is anonymous in doing so. And this law now protects her for doing that anonymously through the baby boxes. As of right now, there are no Safe Haven baby boxes in Tennessee, so we're hoping for Madison County to have the first.
Any questions from council? This has been done in other states. Our proposed location is Fire Station 2 on Westwood. And like I said, this will allow mothers who are at that lowest point to surrender their baby. The Safe Haven organization also works with the DCS and adoption agencies. They have a waiting list for families to adopt babies that are surrendered through Safe Haven boxes. So this is just consideration of a lease to install that box at Fire Station 2.
And we've been through meetings and vetting with West Tennessee Healthcare, EMS, and our fire station.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What, do you have a picture of what the box looks like?
Yeah.
They'll be on the outside,
Well, no, this is the picture of the fire department now on the outside and on the inside of where it goes.
once on the outside there, the brick, that you'll have a silent alarm when the first door is opened. And inside the box is climate controlled. There'll be a laser beam that runs across, and when the mom puts the baby in the bassinet and it breaks the laser beam, the plane of that, Central Dispatch will get an alarm from an alarm service that there's been a baby in the box, and then we can access it from the inside of the fire station to remove the baby and take care of it until an ambulance gets there to transport
What
it.
if the mother comes back looking for their baby? Like, what is the
That's the
actual
question
full
now.
process? Because, I mean, are you saying their mother can just take their baby and put it in a box, and that's it?
Yes, ma'am. That's the new law that was passed, is she gets to give that baby up as long as it's within a certain age and that it is in good health, then there are no charges that can be brought against her if the baby is placed into a safe haven baby box. And at that point, once we give the baby to an ambulance or in the ER, West Tennessee Healthcare and DCS then has responsibility of that infant to move forward in that process.
And it sounds terrible that a mom's placing a baby in a box. It's not that simple, right? So the baby has to be free of neglect. They have to generally be healthy. There are some safeguards in place for the mother, obviously, to do so. But in the end, all of this is turned over to DCS, right? We just want to provide this resource to mothers here in Madison County for them to anonymously surrender their baby. There will be a packet inside of the box. We're working through what we want that to have, similar to what West Tennessee Healthcare already gives mothers who surrender babies in the ER. There's some aftercare products in there, information on what she may be going through after she delivers the baby. We are hoping to partner with a clinic here in town to provide the mother some aftercare, some medical aftercare if she needs that, anonymously, right? The whole point of this is for the mom to not feel the stigma of giving up a baby.
Can you talk about the 45 days?
Yes, so within the 45 days, the mother can reach out to DCS. There will be information in the packet where she can go back to DCS and try to get her baby back if she changes her mind. So taking the baby to the box is not a be-all, end-all for the mother. She still has rights to the baby after the fact for a certain amount of time, for about 45 days. And again, all of that is done through DCS.
So within that period of time, the mother, is there an avenue that the mother gets help also, like mentally or
Yes.
in other ways?
Yes,
that
we
she
will
would
have
need
tons
help?
of resources in the packet for the mother. The hospitals, I work at the hospital, the ER, the mother-baby floor, everybody's on board with this. We want to care for the mother. You know, it's not just about saving the baby. Of course, that's what we want to do, and that's what the initial goal is. You know, if the baby's unwanted, we don't want them ended up in a dumpster. We want them safe and protected. But we also want to care for the mother. And you can go online and Google the press releases. When Monica Kelly, who's the founder of this company, this program, when she does a press release, she calls the mother brave. She's a hero. You know, she chose life for her baby instead of just abandoning the baby out of a moment of crisis. So there is resources for the baby, obviously, but there are also resources for the mother. There's a 24-hour crisis line. There will be a billboard. Part of what the budget includes is a billboard with that 24-hour crisis line. There will be education. We'll be going into schools, educating students, civic groups, that sort of thing, about all of the different benefits
With
to the
the
Safe Haven baby.
1-800 number, the mother, that'll be on the billboard and along with our education that we take out to the community. But she even has the ability to call that 1-800 number before she gives the baby up. That might change her mind, or she may find some resources to help her not have to give the child up. Is one thing I really like with this company, is it's not, she's got some steps that she can take before she actually surrenders the baby that are supportive.
Mr. Chairman? My hope is that this baby box never be used, but I do appreciate y'all finding a solution for an otherwise very difficult and potentially tragic situation. So with that said, I move the approval.
Second.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion from council?
Just a quick question. As kind of reading through what the law was and what it's changed, the law was you had to give it to an individual at the hospital or a fire
Designated,
department.
yes, correct.
But we're allowing for an additional layer of anonymity. Can't even say it today. Yes, thank you. But I guess the question is, and this is something that we're going to have to do locally, is to really get that documentation to them, because that was the opportunity for the hospital or the fire department to hand that over.
All of
And
that.
I don't, and I guess when you get into it, you know, how do we ensure that they get that information? You
There will
know?
be a bag inside that bassinet that she can take with
Okay.
that, along with the 1-800 number. And Christy and I are really excited about this. Both of us had teen pregnancies. Thankfully, we had great families. But with this, we would go out to the schools, different places, and really educate, hey, if you do choose this, here's your avenues. And then we've talked to the local clinic about coming on board so that there are those resources, and we'll make sure that we get the word out to them. That's kind of what we're excited about too, is getting out there and.
Yeah, I see that as a key component, is getting the
Absolutely.
information education.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not just putting a box at Station 2. There's a whole, you know, education, information, and so we want to make sure that people understand their resources, and there's also resources for the mothers prior to getting to this point.
Correct.
1-800 numbers and resources that way that they'll be pushing out.
That's great.
Only one question I had. I know with most of our agreements or contracts, we've been having Attorney Cobb review those. Is this one that's applicable to that? Because typically there's like a form in here, or is that? Okay.
Because there's no cost associated with it, because there's no private funds. He reviewed it, so the form was different than the cost associated with most contracts we enter into.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, any further discussion from council?
Thank you.
Council, please vote.
Motion passed 7-1.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 2 is consideration of board appointments from Budget Committee. Reappointment of Ron Tharp, appointment of Dave Bratcher, and appointment of Lynn Henning, not that Lynn Henning.
I thought the same thing. I was like, how's it gonna work?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Council, please vote.
Motion passed 8-0.
All right, no further business coming before the council. Meeting's adjourned.